Delivered by Jesus is a group of individuals who have experienced God's love, and we're looking to share that with the world. One of the main things that we do is we go out onto the streets, onto the battlefield, if you will, going into the communities and trying to reach out to people who haven't heard anything about God or who might have heard about him and don't have a good relationship with him. We like to interact with these people. We like to bless them with food, water, if they need it, as well as prayer. One thing we love to do is give out Bibles and also pray for people who we find out on the streets who definitely need it, whether they look like it or not, and just be able to build a relationship with those in our communities who have never heard about God or who just really need to get to know God. So one of the big reasons that why we do this is because in the Bible, Jesus tells us one of the most important commandments, actually. He says to love our neighbors as ourselves. And so we love to be able to go outdoors and meet people that we've never seen before, we have no connection to, these strangers who in reality are our neighbors. And we're supposed to show love to them. We're supposed to help them out or try to show God's love to them, really, and just be a representative of Christ here on earth.
A large part of the reason we go out is to reach people and bless them through Christ. But even more importantly, by praying, delivering, and healing, and those we meet on the street in the name of Christ, whether they are homeless students or businessmen or anybody that God lead us to. The reason that I wanted to be part of this group is because of Matthew 16:25. It's talk about denying yourself and take up your cross to follow him. I was praying to God over 3 years for Adventure Team to come forward in the church and help me reach people.
People in the church, how can anyone help us? So, anyway, the best way I think is prayer, because 1 week we went out, the elders were having a meeting, and they were actually praying for outreach. And that was the night we went out. It was on a Tuesday, and that was one of the weeks that we had the most people ask for prayer, whether it was 30 seconds, a minute, however long, they asked for prayer, received prayer. It was amazing. And then when we came back to the church afterwards to talk to some elders, it was great. And then, just prayer when we go out, prayer when we just throughout the week. That's the best way. But in terms of materially, we, to hand out food, to hand out water, we need those kind of resources. So if you want to get bananas for us or some water, whatever you can. But again, I think prayer is the best way.
Another thing you could do if you're interested and if it's put on your heart is to come out for one night during the week, just to get a sense of kind of what we're doing outside in this community. You can expect to have your faith stretched in a good way. You'll be faced with good times, some bad times, definitely some up and down, as there always is. Being put into new experiences and new places that might be uncomfortable, but some of the joys that you get to participate in is being able to see people's faces light up when you arrive with something that they really need, something that someone really needs, whether it's food or water, but even if it's prayer. We've talked to many people that really are just going through a tough time, whether it be them, physically, mentally, whatever else it might be, or if it's a family member or a friend of theirs that is just really needing help. And so being able to pray for that and then even reconnect with them next week, or even without that, is definitely something that is important and is important to them, and being able to help them in that way really is a reward in itself.
My faith has just expanded. It's grown, going out in the streets, praying for people, seeing the need, seeing how I can help others, having fellowship with other Christians, doing a discipleship class with an elder in our church and a few others in our group. I've just learned a lot more about the Bible this past year than I have years before. And just having that daily connection with God and just becoming a better Christian.